Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing the no contact rule, power play. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. Subscribe to my weekly support emails. The link is in the description. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing the no contact rule, power play. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you would have likely heard people suggest you implement the no contact rule. But did you know there is a way to boost its effectiveness? In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 elements of the no contact rule, power play. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is contact connections. So today we're speaking about how to use the power play of my version of the no contact rule, boosting its effectiveness, and point number 1 is really important. And I'm calling it contact connections. And this is for you as a dumpee to contact mutual friends of your ex, but not to discuss your ex. Okay, so that is the basic principle of point number 1. And as for why it is part of the no contact rule power play and how it can boost effectiveness, well, please listen through as I explain. As I've said, I suggest you contact mutual friends between you and your ex, but remembering not to discuss your ex. So any mutual friends that you might have, if and when you contact this mutual friend, are probably hard thinking, but you're going to mention your ex, or certainly you're going to be showcasing behaviour which represents how you are feeling due to the breakup. And this is why it's really important that instead of talking about your ex, you speak about positive plans and experiences that you have had. Now this is really important because you need to imagine that your ex-dumper is literally standing next to this mutual friend that you're contacting. So even though, hopefully at least, they're not actually looking over their shoulder as you send a text or literally hiding in the bushes as you and this mutual friend or speaking as you go for a walk, whatever it may be. Of course, we're not expecting your ex-dumper to really be there in that regard, but your mutual friend will definitely, or certainly, almost definitely, speak about what you have told them to your ex. I hear this time and time again. This is why, although nothing can be guaranteed, it's almost as guaranteed as can be possible that whatever you speak about to your mutual friends will get back to your ex-dumper. Now it goes without saying, but you shouldn't be saying to these mutual friends, hey, please tell my ex this, please tell my dumper that. Of course, you shouldn't be trying to get messages across to your dumper in this obvious way. You just need to trust the process for whatever you speak about will get back to your ex, either because your ex will actually ask mutual friends if they've seen you and what you have been speaking about, or even if that doesn't happen in that regard, the mutual friends will likely pass this on. Now what's really interesting is this still happens even if a mutual friend is to tell you, hey, whatever we speak about is just between me and you. Unfortunately, I've heard time and time again about these mutual friends making these promises and then breaking them. Now are they doing it deliberately? Well, sometimes they are. Sometimes they are doing it deliberately, but often from a good place because they actually want to see you get back together. They are both of your friends, of course. But unfortunately, when information goes through a third party, it can sometimes come out the other side in a bad way, which is why you need to be very careful that anything you say to this mutual friend is going to be beneficial for you and hopefully in your ex's eyes regarding you. This is why it's a power play. It's a power play because you can influence your ex-dumper's thoughts about you without you actually having to speak to them. This is why it's really, really important that you don't speak about your ex, because if you do, it can come across as needy. It can come across as a situation where you are believing that you need them in your life. You don't want this mutual friend telling your ex that. It just pushes them onto that pedestal. Similarly, you don't want to be telling this mutual friend that you feel terrible, that you feel awful, that you can barely get out of bed each day for how sad you are. Because if this gets back to your ex, they are not going to see you as a dateable option. This, unfortunately, is the case. If you want to be an attractive person, then living a negative life is unfortunately not going to help your cause. Instead, living a positive life, speaking about ambition, speaking about the future, speaking about how you are improving as a person, those are the things which are going to attract your ex-dumper back to you, and they can find it out not via you directly, but via the mutual friend that you are speaking with. Now, if you don't have mutual friends with your ex, don't worry, because I've still got two very, very important points and ideas that I'm going to be speaking about just in a moment. But for those of you who do, mutual friends really are a power play if you use this contact connections to your advantage. And whether or not your mutual friends deliberately pass on information to your ex, or maybe with a genuine heart, they say to you, hey, I'm not going to pass this information on, but then inadvertently, almost accidentally, pass the information on that you have told them, this is likely to get back to your dumper. So use contact connections to your advantage, speak with mutual friends, spend time with mutual friends, but live a positive life so you can promote yourself in this attractive way. Don't mention your ex, don't speak about negativity, and this can really help your cause. I just need to add really quickly, very importantly as well, that if you do have negativity within you, if you feel really low, sad, depressed, it is important to speak to people. I'm not suggesting that you bottle it up. You need to speak with friends and family who are not directly connected to your ex. You also could speak with a local doctor, counsellor, maybe you want to speak with myself via my audio coaching service, but please just avoid speaking to mutual friends about things which could make you seem negative, angry, bitter, upset. Those types of things are not going to help you if your ex finds out. So yes, talk, but make sure you are talking to the right people. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast. Please like this video if you're watching on YouTube. And if you have a new hype feature, please hype this video as well. If you like my content, subscribe to the channel to keep updated. And point number 2 is archive chats. So today we're speaking about the no contact rule power play, things you can do to really increase your chance of a no contact rule playing into your favour and re-attracting your ex, as well as helping you improve and grow as a person. Because remember, no contact is not just about getting an ex back. My version of a no contact rule also helps you get you back. And this is where point number 2 really, really helps in both regards. And that is because if you archive chats with your ex, you can help yourself, which then helps you increase the chance of getting them back. So let me explain in more detail. Most dumpees, I would say 99.9% of dumpees, would have some type of electronic messaging between them and their dumper, whether it's a text, whether it's a messaging app, whatever it may be. You will have text threads, you will have messages that your dumper sent to you back when things were good, and probably when things weren't so good during the breakup as well. And these chats are going to be easily accessible on your phone. And here lies the problem, because whilst they are easy to access, you are going to continually look at them. It becomes an addiction. You can't stop yourself. Even though you know what you are about to see, because you are reading them for the 500th time, you still want to view them. You still want to see them. You still want to read what has been put. Maybe you are listening to a voice note. Maybe you are trying to view the images that have been sent between you or the profile photos connected to the chat. You're trying to make sense of something which makes very little sense to you. You're trying to draw conclusions. You're trying to figure things out, where there might not be much to figure out within what is actually there to be read. And hence, I suggest you archive your chats. Now, most messaging services have an option to archive the chats. This means you are not actually deleting them, but they are somewhere where you're not going to see them too easily. Now, although an archived chat can be brought back whenever you want to, this isn't something which is going to be in your face 24/7 when you're scrolling through your phone, getting a message maybe off somebody else, just to notice your ex is not too far down your chat list. If you archive the chat, it's not in your face, but it is also not deleted. And there might be good reason why you don't want to delete it. Special memories, maybe you're thinking if you get back together, there is information within these chats that you really need to keep hold of. So you don't want to delete them, however, you also don't want them in your face. So archiving them is a no contact rule power play because it protects your mental health. And if your mental health is being protected, it also prevents you from thinking it's a good idea to reach out. Now, in most instances, if you have been dumped, I suggest you never contact your ex again unless they contact you first. There are a few caveats to that rule, but by and large, generally speaking, if you have been dumped, the best advice as a starting point is to never contact your ex or dumper again unless they contact you first. So therefore, you reaching out to them is generally not a good idea. So if you can prevent yourself from reaching out to them, that is going to increase the chance of getting your ex back, because if you do reach out to them, you're actually decreasing that chance. So anything we can do to prevent you from thinking, oh, that's a good idea, anything we can do to stop that thought, that is going to help you. Now, archiving the chats not only protects your mental health from continually seeing your ex and making you think of them, which is going to bring you down, but additionally, if you keep seeing these chats, you're going to be very, very tempted to send a new message. And as we've just been speaking about, that is not a good idea. So archiving them, in my opinion, is the best option. You don't have to delete them. You don't have to block them. Okay, if your mental health is really suffering, maybe this is an avenue you need to consider going down. Maybe you do need to delete and or block, but that is only if your mental health is requiring you to take that drastic action. If you feel that you're not in that bad a place where you have to actually delete and or block, then maybe the happy medium is for you to remove the chat from view by archiving them. Now, if you would like advice and support about how to try and increase the chance of one day getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. Go to my website www.datetome.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. Talking about your feelings can also improve your mental health. It helps prevent the buildup of negative emotions, which can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Speak your heart to free your mind. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast. If you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. And point number 3 is reward your milestones. So today we're speaking about no contact rule power plays, how to increase its effectiveness. And point number 3 is a real valuable way to help you keep going. And that is to reward your milestones. Now, when you first implement my version of the no contact rule, every single day feels like an eternity. The first week feels like 7 years, let alone 7 days. But with every day that passes, you are now moving forward through the milestones. That first day in particular is ridiculously hard. The first week, you can't believe you made it. And when that first month comes around, you're wondering how you ever got there. All of these are milestones, and the further you get along, the more milestones you will be surpassing. Now, it's important for me to say here, but from my own research, the average amount of time that a dumper will reach out to a dumpee is around 6 to 12 months. So this isn't something which is likely to be resolved anytime soon. And of course, unfortunately, there is no guarantee that it ever will. But if it is to be resolved, this is going to be likely many months into the future, many milestones into the future, and hence it can feel tough and challenging to maintain no contact. So that is why I suggest you reward your milestones, and that is by treating yourself after certain lengths of no contact to encourage you to keep going. So what exactly do I mean? Well, for instance, if you are thinking that you can't believe you have the ability or the willpower to get through the next week of no contact, then why not give yourself a treat if and when you do? Maybe it's something that you buy yourself. You're literally buying yourself a present. Perhaps this is something that other people could help you with. Maybe you don't really feel like doing anything, but you know that you have friends and family who can be very supportive and encouraging of you, and you will allow them to think of a reward for you if you get through so much no contact, almost like a surprise reward. So whether you are rewarding yourself, whether you're letting other people reward you, some people even let others reward them, but they themselves will pay for the gift. You can't really expect other people necessarily to be buying these gifts or presents or rewards. Some people say, look, you choose and I'll buy. And it doesn't have to be a physical gift. It could be something such as a trip. It could be something where you are going to be going to an event. These are the things which can really help because they take your mind off your ex, as well as being a reward in themselves. If you treat yourself after certain lengths of no contact, it can really keep that motivation going. And finding self-motivation can be hard. Through my audio coaching service, I find that a lot of my clients need me to help keep them motivated, and I see myself as a motivator, as an accountability partner, as well as a strategist through the no contact period, through life coaching as a whole. But even if you have audio coaching with me, even if you are having somebody else you're speaking with, there are going to be times when it's just you, times where you need to find that self-motivation. And if you reward yourself for each milestone, this could be something which helps you get through that next day, that next week, that next month, and ultimately closer to the average amount of time that it would take your ex-dumper to reach out to you.